So, Pat?
Has the decision been made to have the president officially disclose tonight in his speech what happened, or will we continue to get details from NASA throughout the day, or are they going to hold the president's speech?
NASA will continue to keep you abreast of everything as they know it, as they always have through the entire history of the American space program. So, John?
Larry, you made a point of saying early on that there would be no greater way to honor those who apparently have died in this mission than to continue on with the space program. Is this a deliberate effort to try to counteract any feelings against the program because of the tragedy?
John, the only deliberate effort we're making at the moment is to show our deep concern, our deep emotion, and our desire that America continue in the space program. That's our entire motive, lock, stock, and barrel. Joanna?
Larry, has the president expressed any rue or regret about his proposal to send civilians in space?
The president is obviously concerned about every person that he, as the chief executive officer of the government, he as the president directs. He directs people every day, either directly or indirectly, to conduct missions on the part of the government, the military, NASA, and those. It's a fact of life when the man sits in the Oval Office. He has to make these decisions. And I have not heard him express any regret. Concern, yes. Deep emotion, yes. Sorrow, yes. But regret is not that. It was a decision made, as he said, these individuals are all Americans, and they're all believers in the space program, and that's what's in his mind. So, Walter?
Larry, does the president plan today to speak with any of the relatives, family of any of the...
That hasn't been determined yet, no. Frank?
Can you give us any indication as to what the First Lady was doing at the time that this information became available and what her reaction was?
I don't. We can check with her office, if you will, and see what we can get.
Because the European... Larry Speaks, President Reagan's principal spokesman at the White House, continuing to ask questions from reporters. As to that last question, Larry Speaks, steady and reliable as always, as he has been for so long there at the White House. Whatever you think about President Reagan and his administration, you can compliment Larry Speaks as a steady, reliable spokesman for the president. On that last question, Speaks simply hasn't had time to check into it because we had an early report that Mrs. Reagan was indeed watching the space shuttle liftoff this morning on live television, was one report, and that when the fireball occurred, the First Lady said, oh my God, no, end of quotation. Now, Space Shuttle Challenger exploded into that gigantic fireball about 72 to 75 seconds after liftoff today, apparently killing all 7 crew members, including schoolteacher Christa McAuliffe of Concord, New Hampshire. Fragments of the $1.1 billion spacecraft, which is one of 4 in NASA's shuttle program. Fragments of the spacecraft fell into the Atlantic Ocean about 18 miles southeast of the Kennedy Space Center launch pad. No announcement still on the fate of the crew, nothing official, but it appeared from the videotape, which we're going to show you in just a few moments, that there was no way that anyone could survive. No American astronaut previously ever had been killed in flight. 3 had been killed on the launch pad in 1967 as part of the Apollo program. The explosion occurred as Challenger was about 10.3 miles high and speeding toward orbit, riding 500,000 gallons of fuel, speeding toward orbit aboard all that fuel at 1,977 miles per hour. The shocking spectacle was witnessed by family and friends of the astronauts who had gathered at Cape Canaveral and by people who were watching live coverage around the country. We will show you now the videotape, first in real time and then in slow motion, of what happened this morning from launch to explosion.
7, 6, we have main engine start, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
Now control. Roger, roll, Challenger. Good roll program confirmed. Challenger now heading downrange. Engines beginning throttling down now at 94%. Normal throttles for most of the flight, 104%. We'll throttle throttle down to 65% shortly. Engines at 65%, 3 engines running normally, 3 good fuel cells, 3 good APUs. Velocity 2,257 feet per second. Altitude 4.3 nautical miles, downrange distance 3 nautical miles. Engines throttling up, 3 engines now at 104%.
Challenger, go at throttle up. Roger, go at throttle up.
1 minute 15 seconds. Velocity 2,900 feet per second. Altitude 9 nautical miles. Downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
And the trail of smoke began. Half an hour after the explosion, a serpentine trail of white smoke, still twisted by the upper wind, remained in the clear sky. It marked the path of the shuttle's wreckage. You may have noticed it for a second or so there. The shuttle appeared to still be flying after the explosion, and suddenly it corkscrewed out of control and plunged toward the ocean.
Flight controllers here looking very carefully at the situation. Obviously a major malfunction.
Major malfunction meaning disaster aboard the shuttle in space. A nightmare for NASA. And now we take you to the last seconds of Shuttle Challenger in slow motion. At this point, all appears well. Then suddenly a small explosion, hard to tell exactly where it is, and then this. In the upper right-hand corner of your screen, a piece of the solid fuel rocket booster blown away in the explosion. The spaceship was throttling up at one of the most dangerous periods of the launch when the explosion occurred. Now, as you just heard a few moments ago from presidential spokesman Larry Speaks, earlier it was said, the President's Chief of Staff, Donald Regan, and others passed along the word the President would go ahead with his State of the Union address tonight. Larry Speaks then came out and confirmed some of what we reported to you earlier. The President has now decided to cancel his State of the Union address that was scheduled for tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Instead, in case you missed this in what Speaks said, instead President Reagan will speak to the American people tonight about the, and this is what the White House called it, the tragedy of the explosion aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. White House spokesman Larry Speaks said there will be no State of the Union address tonight. The State of the Union address will be made next week. President Reagan does plan to address the nation tonight about the Space Shuttle Challenger explosion today. At what time the President will be speaking tonight, we do not yet know. You are watching our CBS News live coverage of today's tragedy, this explosion in space, this disaster in space. We will, our tentative plan, of course, is to broadcast the President's address to the nation, if that's what it turns out to be tonight, whenever that occurs. If there's something less than a full address, we simply don't know the form yet, and we don't know when it's going to take place. But President Reagan does plan to speak to the American people this evening, but about the Space Shuttle Challenger. His State of the Union address has, after some deliberation, and understandably it took the White House some time to decide what would be best in terms of State of the Union address, it has been postponed now until next week. Now, aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger, in that terrible fireball of this morning, were 7 Americans. And these were the 7 Americans aboard and who they were. Francis Dick Scobie, Air Force Major, was the commander, 46 years old, born in Washington State. Michael Smith, he was the pilot, age 40, United States Navy, born in Morehead City, North Carolina. Judy Resnik, second woman in space, 36 years old, PhD, born in Akron, Ohio, mission specialist. Ronald McNair, also a mission specialist, PhD, 35 years old, born in Lake City, South Carolina. Ellison Onizuka, Major, United States Air Force, 39 years old, born in Hawaii, also a mission specialist. These were all the astronauts. 41-year-old Gregory Jarvis, the payload specialist, man in charge of the cargo aboard the space shuttle. 41 years old, born in Detroit. And 37-year-old Christa McAuliffe, school teacher, mother of two, from Concord, New Hampshire. While astronaut Judy Resnik was preparing for the flight, Judith Resnik, one of two women aboard the flight today, the school teacher, Christa McAuliffe was one, Judy Resnik was the other woman.